Ba-dum, ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Hey, Sam. I'm hoping to make some progress, because unfortunately I didn't get to play last week, because I was feeling a little meh after all the dentist stuff I had to do that day. But yes, I am no longer numb. I have a little bit of soreness, but that's to be expected. But I did have a cavity filled today. So, I need to remember to take a break halfway through this stream, whatever that'll be. I'm sure that there is people in chat who will yell at me to do so. But that said, let's finish this case and hopefully meet Miles's other new assistant in this game. So it would have been better if new 5e dropped all their books. Us having a break time around new 5e player's handbook worked out. Yeah, it's true. And I'll see how I am next week for... I'm hoping that I'm not going to be as numb as I was right today. Anyway, yes, it is March 12th at 2:52 p.m. Flight G390, lower deck, cargo hold. Wow, so this is the cargo hold, huh? It's so big! Jesus Christ, lady. I would like to point out that this means that she bought 12 of these suitcases that are like $1,200 if I recall correctly. How much money does this woman make as a flight attendant? Which reminds me, I need to talk to you about swapping instrument out for disguise tools, because entertainers do not have it anymore. I mean, that's fine. I can tell you right now, if you're like, I have too many instrument proficiencies, and we've already basically said you're proficient with disguise tools, I think that's fine. Hey, Captain! Yes, detective. I have 6. Okay. This place is a special model. It has both a super large cargo hold and an ultra luxurious first class seating. So it's really a scene of a murder. There is certainly a high probability of that, which is why we are here, correct? Okay, let's get investigating, sir. Begin investigation. Could always use more cowbell. In absence of cowbell, insert X instrument. Yes. Don't forget, one of your instrument proficiencies is Spanish guitar now, or something like that. Okay, let us get investigating. Oh, look, there's a box here of bed sheets. Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing on the crew. It sure brings back memories when I worked part-time mover, sir. By the looks in his eyes, he's waiting for me to ask about the rest of the story. But no matter how he powers his puppy eyes, I have no intention of doing so. You were a part-time mover, Gumshoe? Aw, to supplement your income because for some reason you do not make enough money as a detective? Begin unraveling the yarn ball of murder. Murder. Hey, what's in the suitcase, pal? It's what the victim checked in, sir. So the suitcase belonged to Mr. Hicks. I don't think he'd mind if we took a closer look. There's nothing out of the ordinary here, sir. Wait, a file? And there's a photo of Miss Von Karma in it, sir. Looks like a profile on Francisca. Ooh. Why would Mr. Hicks have had a file on her? This is a good question. Holy suitcases, Mr. Edgeworth. It's like an all-you-can-use suitcase fair. These must all be leftover ones they couldn't sell. The ones the company is planning to dispose of after this flight is over. Paint job's real cool, don't you think? Practically screams artsy. Of course you like it, Gumshoe. Oh, why not purchase one then? I'm sure it will bring you much happiness. You think so? Then maybe I will. Let's see here. $1,200? I think I'll pass. And Mr. Narios wonders why they don't sell. You'd need 2 jobs to buy one. Although, it definitely looks like one is missing. What is this brittle substance I'm stepping on? It's a bunch of glass fragments? Gee, I wonder what these glass fragments were attached to before. I think that the fact we're in A2 is relevant, by the way. I just can't remember why right now. Hey Francisco, what's up? You arrived at the scene of the crime before the Detective Gumshoe, correct? And you then immediately began to direct the investigation? It seems to me that you were already here at this airport for something other besides this murder. Yes, I was. Why this airport? I've been following a very large and involved government-level international crime. But it's much too large for one person to take on alone. So it was decided that I should form a joint investigation with Interpol. Interpol is involved? It's a top-secret operation, so I can't really tell you any more than I already have. Okay, but he had a profile on you, and that's clearly relevant, right? Oh, do we not? Maybe if I show him this, or her, Hicks, can I not show profiles in this game? Oh, this isn't like, Justice for All, you cannot show that. Fortunately, you cannot. Alright, well, I'll come back to you, Francisca. Have you noticed anything strange happening around here? No, sir. I've not noticed a thing. I'm not sure that he meant to sound so oblivious. Alright, what? Highly flammable. Oh, this is fine. You may need a logic or something. Yeah, probably. I'm just gonna look at everything first, but then I'll do some logic. All sorts of boxes are piled up here. This one says flammable, and this one says pharmaceuticals. This one says for exorcism use only. Just what kind of operation is this airline running? Yes, let's put the tasty winery and the medical supplies all together. It sounds good to me. Alright, is there anything over here? We got the elevator. Oh, I just love pushing buttons on the elevator and crosswalk signals. Here, you should give it a try, sir. Go on, push it. The elevator is currently stopped on the first floor, Detective. It can't move. Oh, yeah. Guess nothing would have happened if you pushed it now. Well, nothing would have happened normally anyway without the special key card. Both the door to the attendant's room and the elevator's control panels require a key card, which makes it impossible for a passenger to come down here. Sus! Which means it's clearly Miss Tenario, because it's definitely gonna be that. Oh, Tenario's lie. So that flight attendant wrote a Tenario. She's a killer, isn't she? Oh, well, if Gumshoe thinks she's the killer, then obviously she can't be. I don't think we can say for sure yet, But there's certainly a great number of things pointing us in that direction.
You mean like how she didn't tell us about her buying her own suitcase?
Yes, however, in regard to the key card being stolen, I can't seem to find any evidence that she's lying about that. Okay, I think it's time to go in our logic palace. The broken glasses and the glasses shards, could they be related? I think we can safely conclude that these fragments are from a pair of glasses.
And the victim was wearing a pair of broken glasses.
Exactly what I was thinking. I'm sure that the shards would match up perfectly with the remnants of his glasses lenses. Ergo, the victim was here, just as I suspected.
So you're saying that the real scene of the crime was here, sir?
Isn't that what I've been saying for a while now?
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
Perhaps it's a bit too early to draw that conclusion. However, I believe that the probability has just skyrocketed considerably. All that's left is to find the murder weapon. Why did Mr. Hicks have a document on Francisca? Because she's gonna work with him in Interpol. Boo. Now, why would Mr. Hicks have a document profiling Francisca?
Oh, I know. I bet he's a big fan of Miss Von Karma, sir.
Well, I don't know about that one. Francisca said that she's come to the airport as part of an Interpol investigation.
Oh, maybe Mr. Hicks heard that she was coming here and he followed her.
Detective, I think it's more likely that Mr. Hicks was, in actuality, Interpol agent Hicks. I think Francisca has some explaining to do. You've got some explaining to do. You came to this airport to rendezvous with the victim, didn't you?
Nonsense! What are you talking about?
We found a profile detailing information about you in the victim's luggage. I suppose it was prepared for him so that he could recognize you when he landed. Which makes him not Mr. Hicks, but rather Interpol agent Hicks. Isn't that correct? I should have known you'd figured it out, Miles. But it looks like they got to him first. So you really did come here to receive an Interpol agent, then? Yes. Agent Hicks was on the trail of a very large international smuggling ring. Silly Fran-chan, you can't lie to Edgeworth. It's true. Edgeworth and Francisca have known each other for a very long time, so there's very few people, other than probably Phoenix, who like Miles knows that well. He went undercover to investigate this crime, and it was I who put him on this case. I was supposed to receive a call from him on his cell phone once he had landed. I never expected to receive a call about his murder instead. I think we now have a pretty definitive evidence that the Agent Hicks came down here to the cargo hold.
But what was he doing down here, sir? There's nothing but luggage. Oh, I get it. Maybe he forgot something in his suitcase and came down to get it. Ow!
Whip counter. Agent Hicks came down here for work-related reasons. Of that, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure he was here to investigate the smuggling operation he was observing. Francisca, do you know exactly how he intended to pursue his investigation? No. Unfortunately, I was going to find out from him after he landed. I see. But this raises another question. A normal passenger can't access the cargo hold on their own. Agent Hicks must have identified himself to the member of the crew and entered the cargo hold with that person who let him in. Yes, and then he was murdered here. These glass fragments and his broken glasses are the testament to that. And then... Whip counter was a mistake. I'm glad you didn't make it. Has it exceeded the objection counter for your game? The killer put Agent Hicks on one of his spare suitcases, and then they entered the elevator. But while they were riding it up, the plane hit a patch of turbulence. Because of the intense shaking, the suitcase popped open, and Agent Hicks's body flew out. At the same time, his wallet fell out of his pocket, spilling its contents everywhere. Oh, it did that case too, but also Francisca does like 12 whips at the end of that. Oh, that's fair. Which explains why there was money scattered all over the elevator floor. Investigation complete! I think it was pretty easy to say who the culprit was in this stage.
What? Really, sir?
I kind of like that Gumshoe calls both Miles and Francisca sir. It feels fitting. Yeah, she's a bit of a tantrum. Phoenix died then. He's really channeled by an unnamed fae for the rest of the franchise. Is that where Misty Faye is? I know that you're thinking, Miles Edgeworth, but the killer can be none other than Miss Rhoda Tenario. Gasp. If it was the crew member, anyone in the hold could have shown Agent Hicks to the cargo hold. Any one of them could have shown Agent Hicks to the cargo hold. But the point to keep in mind is that the car key that allows the elevator to come down here, the only person with such high-level access is Miss Rhoda Tenario. I'd say that's a pretty decisive piece of information, wouldn't you? I know what she's trying to say, but I'm not certain it's as simple as that. Definitive evidence.
Hold it.
That might be true, but then it could be anyone, including Miss Mile, or even the captain. Don't be a fool. A plane without a pilot in the cockpit is like a horse without a rider, crop in hand. Much like Scruffy over there. Hey! I can't disagree with her on that. Detective Gumshoe does always need a guiding hand. Very well, then. What about the other flight attendant, Miss Mile? I thought you might ask about her. Keep in mind, key card allows the elevator to come down here.
Hold it.
But it's highly likely that the key card was stolen from Miss Tenario. It's highly likely. Is that possibility the best you can come up with? And you call yourself a disciple of my father. Yes, well, while I don't have any evidence, Be quiet. You are a disgrace. There is more evidence pointing to Miss Rhoda Tenario, you know. It's not just the keycard that gives her away. Are you talking about the murder weapon? The Captain Ego piggy bank? Yes, she is the only person with a key to open that display case. Edgeworth, why can't she whip me? What's with the... What? Why can she whip me? What is this protagonist debuff? True. I don't think Francisca... Well... What about in the third game? does she do so at any point then? I feel like that happens, right? I don't know if she whips him or not, though. Probably also spoilers, geez. I mean, we don't have the context. I didn't give any context. I'm just saying. Press. Further the key. Yeah.
Hold it!
But that was a fake.
Stop right there, Miles Edgeworth. You don't have any proof that this was just a red herring. If you must keep on insisting that this is a fake, then what is the real murder weapon and where did it go?
Speechless, I see.
That's not a surprise.
I mean, valid. I mean, we're claiming there's another murder weapon, but we don't have it yet.
After all, you know that we've searched this entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed.
There must be a way. There must be something that can help me rule out the piggy bank as a murder weapon. What should be examined further to help us ascertain the authenticity of the weapon? Is it the bank? There's blood on the corner. That doesn't really help us figure that out. Is it the body? What was the third option they had? The crime scene. I honestly don't actually know the answer to this one. So, what do we think that he was hit with? We found the bloody cloth. Man, like, I blitzed this case 2 weeks ago. The body? Maybe? Was there like an actual, She did say she searched the crime scene already. The autopsy is in progress. Well, let's just try the piggy bank. Should examine the bank itself one more time to determine if it's really the murder weapon. If this is the real murder weapon, it should be damaged or perhaps have a dent on it or something. We've looked into that already, and there's no sign of anything on it. But we can't discount it as a murder weapon on that one fact alone. The piggy bank is, after all, made of stronger material than the human flesh. Ugh. If I can't prove it through the bank itself, then I must find another way. What should be examined further to help us ascertain the authenticity of the weapon? The body? Okay, it is the body. Francisca, I think you were too quick to jump to your conclusions.
Oh, was I?
Yes, we don't even have the autopsy results yet. This feels like something that I would have more easily jumped to if I had played more than a week ago. How can I not say that you made a snap judgment when you have yet to even see if the wound on Agent Hicks's head is consistent with the murder weapon? I phrased it misleadingly. It's all good. It doesn't, I'm not trying to do this perfect. If I take some damage, it's okay.
Scruffy.
Yes, sir.
Contact the medical examiner's office at once. I wish to hear the results of Ancient Hicks's autopsy.
Yes, sir! Run, Gumshoe! We must prove to Francisca that it's not the murder weapon. We got a big problem, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Uh-oh.
What is it, Detective?
They're still doing the autopsy, but they say that they already know that this one thing for sure.
Report. Now.
The doc said that it's one giant bruise from being beaten on his shoulder down onto his mid-back.
From the victim's shoulder to his mid-back. He was beaten over such a wide area.
Well, I'd say maybe it's a sign the killer had a grudge against Miss Agent Hicks. It wasn't just his head. The killer went all out to hit him multiple times, sir. Well, that's a murder right there.
What could it mean? Scruffy, what is had a grudge against Agent Hicks supposed to mean?
Well, that's,
Was the wound on the victim's head consistent with the murder weapon, Detective?
Oh, well, they said they were looking into that, sir.
You're completely useless.
Yo! Sir, I told you already. You can't go down there.
No, remove yourself from my way.
Oh, sorry. This is Mr. I forget his name. This is the Borginian? Something like that.
What's all that racket?
I'm assuming it's him anyway. Yeah, it is.
My luggage, though my cargo, they're mine, and I demand you return them to me.
We're still under investigation of the cargo hold. Please understand and have a little patience. I suppose there's no choice. Finally, I think he gave. Hey, what are you? You have left me no choice but to use strong force. Ah! You won't get past me.
This is... Wait, that's it. So that's what this whole thing has been about. Hello, there's a matter of the key to the display case that held the murderous bank.
Oh, I remember they would do these where they would quickly have a bunch of logit things happen all at once so that he can have like a eureka moment. The poor man's falling as this is all going on.
And after all, you know that we've searched the entire cargo hold and came up empty-handed.
The doc said that one giant bruise from beating from his shoulder down to his mid-back. That's a nasty bruise. Trail of a smuggling ring.
Miles is the smartest character. The dude would have fallen and been taken to the hospital in the time Phoenix would take.
Yeah. All right. He was severely beaten. So the weapon couldn't be found. Because it's more that he fell. So, are we supposed to connect this with the fact that he had this huge bruise? There's no way that this bank caused this bruise.
Allegedly, the killer struck the victim many times over. Which is why there is extensive bruising over such a wide area. But is that really the correct conclusion to draw from the evidence? The bruise from his shoulder to the middle of his back is one continuous mark, which is more suggestive of a single blow to the back. If that's the case, then the piggy bank is much too small to have caused that. Therefore, the murder weapon must be something far bigger.
Alright, so because it's super big, We've been looking for the wrong thing the whole time.
If we were looking for a rather large weapon, you'd think it would stick out. But so far, we haven't found anything that resembles a weapon of any sort. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's something we've all overlooked from the very beginning. Because normally, it's too impossibly big to be taken into consideration. Bigger than a piggy bank. A bigger piggy bank.
Hey, Donnie. Always misconnect these the first few times. It depends. Because sometimes you can see how multiple things could be connected, but they want you to take specific steps to get there. So it's more about figuring out how they want you to logic it out.
What was that all about? Was he trying to jump his way down here? Franziska. What? What do you want?
I found it, Franziska. I found the real murder weapon.
You did? He really jumped!
We didn't realize it until now, but the answer has been right in front of us this whole time.
He might be hurt. We should check on him, sirs.
How accurate. At least, so Gumshoe is the only one who's like, has a heart. Whereas the two lawyers are like, we must figure out to solve this case. Who cares about that dude who fell on his back?
There is pompous attitude of yours again. You should learn to drop that habit.
This is coming from a prosecutor with a habit of whipping everyone she comes across.
Anyway, if you really are a prosecutor, then you'll back yourself up with evidence. You two aren't listening at all, are you?
Come on, then. Show me this real murder weapon you speak of. This is the real murder weapon. It's this thing!
Take that!
I've concluded that this is the real weapon. I suppose.
What is that supposed to be, you fool?
That was a practice just now for what I would show you the real murder weapon. God damn it! I thought we had to practice whippings to your routine as well. I need to think about the circumstances of the victim's death in a different way. There's a wide bruise running from the victim's shoulder down to his mid-back. Maybe I should be focusing on what could cause such a large bruise in one strike. So what I assumed is like it was the statue I was supposed to be showing, but I think I'm misremembering how this case goes. I think the idea is that it wasn't there. So maybe I don't have evidence to present. Oh wait, what is this? No. Yeah, I know gravity did it. I don't have any evidence to show you.
Foolish. The reasoning for your foolish.
Sorry. Let me try this again.
Foolish reasoning for a foolish fool from a foolish fool meant to fool me. What do you mean by I don't have any evidence to show?
Perhaps you should have phrased it as that which caused Agent Hicks's death is incorporeal. Forgive me, but I do believe I have figured out what was the real cause of his death. He did a free fall.
The victim fell from a great height and subsequently died as a result. In other words, the real cause of death is a free falling to the ground. He fell to his death.
Yes, that is the only plausible possibility. The victim has extensive bruising on the back of his head and his back, and the only rational explanation for these injuries is that he fell to his death.
But the murder happened inside this plane.
I know.
Are you claiming that there is some place in this plane from which he could have fallen from?
As I said earlier, the answer has been right in front of us this entire time. You can't mean... Yes, I do. The victim fell from the top of the stairs of this very cargo hold. Miles doesn't have a physics textbook on him. I mean, that's fair.
What? Then, we're in trouble. We may have second death on our hands, sirs. Hey, you! Tell me you aren't dead, pal. Quiet, what are you screaming? He's alive!
And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. It's not possible for Agent Hicks to have fell over the railing to his death. That man is living proof of that. I suppose it's true that it's not possible, given the current circumstances. The current circumstances. What is that supposed to mean? Drops apple, checkmate, atheist. Hey, Bubbles. It's beautiful. Suppose that large piece of cargo wasn't there at the time. What would have happened then?
So he would have been a Borgianian pancake, that for sure, sir.
I suppose that man over there wouldn't be still breathing. But the reality is that the cargo box is there. So, there is no point in entertaining your wild hypothetical scenarios. It may be there now, but there is no proof that it was always there. As if there could have been a window of time when a giant box was not there. Ah, but there was. What? What can I use to show her the possibility the box was not always there? Well, that is the thing I was looking at before.
Take that!
You refueled in the Republic of Zenfa. Yes, this flight had a short layover in Zenfa in order to refuel. But that wasn't the only reason for the layover. We also transferred some cargo. What if the box in question was only transferred onto this plane at that time? To further prove my point, let's take a look at what the next box in question. What's next to the box in question?
Ah, it's a label of Zenfa Express.
Correct. Meaning, it was loaded onto the plane in Zenfa. There were do-do-do-do. Now, what if the box in question was also loaded on at the same time? It would mean that the box was not here in the cargo hold during the Europe-Zenfa leg of the flight, making it a clear drop from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death entirely possible. But your theory is still very far-fetched. Then allow me to change a chance to prove how very likely my scenario is. My first order of business will be to examine that piece of cargo in more detail. It's always nice to see Von Karma getting more frustrated as the story goes on. Hey, CJ.
We must investigate.
This is a rather large piece of cargo.
There's a tag on it, sir. Let's see. A leaf red statue. Never heard of it.
Nor I. But all I care about is if we can prove it wasn't here at the time of the crime.
Then we get investigating, sir. Symbols! Look here. You don't go touching my possessions without my permission. Don't rush up on me like that, pal.
So this belongs to Mr. LeBlanc, does it? I should see what else I can find out from him. Oh goody, we have to talk more to LeBlanc. I'm sure it won't kill my vocal cords. I take it that this large piece of cargo belongs to you, Mr. LeBlanc.
Of course it's mine. I shipped this fine piece of art from Europe. This leaf red statue is worth 10 million cents. No, maybe much, much more.
Mr. LeBlanc's reasoning for choosing this plane must have been the large cargo hold. LeBlanc has a weird 60s vibe. He is very colorful.
$10,000,000.
I suggest you stop trying to calculate how many packets of noodles that'll make, Detective.
Darn, how'd you do that? I feel like you keep getting the better and better at seeing right through me every year.
Though I grow with each revolution of the planet around the sun, I have the distinct impression that he continues to madly spin in place. Edgeworth, why are you so mean to Gumshoe in your head? Like, what is this? Sweet. I always fall back on an old adage. Metalheads are nice people cosplaying as mean people. Hippies are mean people cosplaying as nice people.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, so that 10,000,000 cents, is that in euros or in dollars?
Doesn't really make a difference to our case. Mr. LeBlanc, there's a chance that your cargo is related to our murder case. I was wondering if you would allow us to examine it a bit closer.
It's a very valuable piece of art, so no, there will be no touching.
Could it be this piece of art?
Why you show me something of value? Show me bread first, and maybe we'll talk.
Wait, he wants me to pay him before he'll comment on this? Okay. No, Gumshoe's been inflicted by Turnabout Big Top cruelty. Gumshoe and Maya should open a club. Roundabout starts playing. Do. Hey, Francisca. If I may have a word with you, Francisca. I don't think you have the time for idle chatter. You still need to prove to me that your hypothetical situation is in fact a reality. Okay, well, fair enough. Sims Hicks was actually an Interpol agent.
That's so cool! I can't believe he went from Interpol. He was from Interpol. The adventure, the glamour, and the miraculous big escape when you get caught by the enemy.
Except that this case was no big escape.
And no miracle.
Keeping track of this many pieces of cargo must be very taxing on the cargo crew. Sure brings me back memories when I was a mover. Okay, it's the same thing. I blame the suitcases. They carry circus energy and are infecting everyone slowly. Okay. Smuggling? Smuggling! If Mr. LeBlanc has something to do with the smuggling ring, then it's possible this fake statue was brought on board in Zenfa. I think I need to question him a bit further. Only I'm stuck. Here we go. Sir! About your statue, Mr. LeBlanc. I wonder if it might be a fake.
What? How dare you say my art is fake?
I suspect your statue might be the target of an international smuggling ring.
Don't say such fantastical things. Those thieves would not dare. I have certification in my cargo right here.
Do you mean the cargo certification? Wow, that's really hard to say in an accent. Certification document? Mr. Zinc LeBlanc, why didn't you say so earlier? Please show it to us now, at once. I can't read this. What does it say?
It says in plain as day the cargo was put onto the plane in Europe.
And there you have it, Miles Edgeworth. Too bad for you. The statue was brought aboard in Europe, just as it states in the certificate.
No, that's...
Which means that there was never a window a time in which this statue wasn't sitting there. Do, 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 do. I respectfully disagree. We can't discount the theory until we see the statue for myself.
Then you can have what you wish. Look at it yourself and see I am right.
If only we could harness the circus energy, we could power the planet on the snark and rudeness. Infinite power. I feel the circus case is just kind of meh and not super awful. Maybe because Hottie made a black hole that sucks all the awfulness towards that previous case. That's fair. Scott, you're literally here for international smuggling ring. I know it benefits you to have no reason to think the documents are illegal, especially in a language you don't know. Yeah, we literally were just like, clearly this is what this says. It must be accurate. See, like, for Justice for All, Hottie is pretty terrible, but I really like everything else about that case. I feel like that was one of the first cases where, like, I did figure out the twist, but I felt vindicated when it was revealed. I think it has a good build-up for that. I don't know. It was one of the first aha moments where I felt like I figured it out in a way that felt like I did the work. I don't know. International smuggling ring. This, I know I've seen it somewhere before.
This is the Ulrif Red?
It gives off such a feeling of art.
Art, I can't practically smell it. Statue's high amount of historic value. After it was unveiled at the museum in Europe, I brought it to this country to exhibit it.
Claims it's worth 10 million cent. There's something that's wrong with this statue. So this is the infamous Ali Fred statue.
What is it, Mr. Edgewood? Did you find something?
There's something wrong with this picture. We should examine it in more detail. It's the eyes. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be a different color. Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure. Deduce! This is not somehow connected to anything of the evidence I hold. Now I finally present this statue. Eureka! These eyes are awfully orange, don't you think?
Yeah, pretty. Remind me of sunsets when I was in grade school, there, sir.
I don't think you see what I'm talking about.
No, I do. I really like the color of the sunset when it was setting, sir.
The memories.
I remember standing out in a field, spinning with my arms out until I fell ill.
I don't care about sunsets. Focus, detective. What color are the eyes in this photo?
Huh? Sir, the red!
As I thought. This statue is a fake. Mr. LeBlanc?
What do you want? Do you not know I am a busy man? I allow you 2 seconds to answer for your answer.
The Alif Red. I suppose it is your pride and joy, is it not?
It's the biggest trophy in the European trip. Do you know why I wanted to possess this statue? The trigger started 17 years ago. Better grab a chair, sir. Sounds like this is gonna be a long story.
Mr. LeBlanc, I regret to inform you, and you have my heartfelt sympathy, but...
What? What sympathy? For what?
You see, I'd like you to compare the eyes.
Large fellow with the big, bright, and pretty eyes compared to you?
I wasn't talking about these two, the two of us. Oh, he said the gumshoe had pretty eyes. I meant the eyes in the statue in front of us and the one in this photo.
Why this one yelling? Damn then. Oh! A photo of the statue on display in the Museum of Europe! No!
Now you see, Mr. LeBlanc, the statue before us is a fake. A fake! I believe that even further examination will be required. Now that we've confirmed that this is indeed a fake, There must be some sort of proof that this was brought on board in Zinfa, and I will present you the evidence that resolves the remaining contradiction.
Look, it's on top of the fabric.
The moving thing? I'm entirely confident there's contradiction here. What do you think, Detective? I think it's really suspicious looking, sir. My well-trained gut tells me so. I see. Well then, I must be mistaken. Okay. Scary original design for Legends of the Hidden Temple. His episode was never made to broadcast. Doesn't have it. It's not a subtle deal, but you were so bad at your job, of course, consider that this attorney. That's unsurprising. Okay, that wasn't exactly what they wanted. Because, like, clearly this is on the thing. Expensive dress. Okay. That feels like the thing that is wrong, though. Yeah, the writing does twist itself more when when it goofs. Oh, that doesn't help me. Interesting that I can look at the statue in my inventory as if I can flip it around like this. I guess this is what I need to use? The cargo thing? It's still this, though. I'm pretty sure this thing being under here is the problem. And then it's the cargo, tag. This one? Yeah, there we go. There's a clear contradiction here. What are you going on about? It's just a simple case of the cargo cover getting stuck under another piece of cargo. Ah, that's not possible. But it is. It shouldn't be this way, but the statue is on top of the cloth. Supposing that the neighboring piece of cargo was brought aboard in Zanfa. There's no way that any part of it should wind up under something from Europe. Which means that this fake statue was smuggled aboard in Zanfa. But then, what about the cargo certificate? Let me ask in return, what about Agent Hicks? Why did he come down here in the middle of the flight? There is only one reason why. To secure proof of the smuggling activity aboard this flight. So, you say, but I don't believe that he had anything to do with that mid-flight. We could have just as easily inspected all the cargo after the plane had landed. That may be true. However, you have it backwards, Francisca. Sure, Agent Hicks could have waited until after the plane had landed. But he had a reason for coming down to the cargo hold. Suppose he had found the fake at the airport. It would have been after the swap had occurred. At that time, the suspicion would have naturally fallen onto the statue's owner, who would have had no way to prove that the statue was switched without his knowledge. Which means there is someone involved who is forging or modifying cargo certificates. Dun dun dun! Here I was thinking it was that one rope hinge not having a rope. That's true too, that is the case. Okay, well, I took some hits, but it's okay. We did it. Guess the victim knew the real version of this was gonna get nabbed, eh? Yes, while this photo could be seen as nothing more than a simple souvenir, it was in fact taken to be used as reference document later on. Next, Agent Hicks had to secure proof that the smuggling had taken place. He came down here to take a picture of the cargo. The cargo hold. A rather empty one at that. Right before the fake statue could be loaded on board. A photo of the hold missing a valuable piece of cargo would have been proof enough. After all he had to do was hold the Zenfa cargo crew and arrest the smuggler. Exactly. This only goes to prove my theory. If the statue was not in the cargo hold during Europe's Zenfa leg of the trip, there would have been enough height from which Agent Hicks could have fallen to his death. Officer, move this statue immediately. I want a thorough examination of the floor underneath. Is there gonna be blood? Miss Von Karma, I'm ready to report my findings. Go on. After moving the Theif red statue out of the way, we tested the area underneath with luminol, and there was a reaction. That's a lot of blood. I see. There was a reaction to luminol, an indication that there was blood in that spot. Can we stop looking at that now, sirs? It would seem that my deductions were correct after all. I suppose it would appear that way. The culprit cleaned the blood up well. And how do you know the killer did that? How did the killer clean up all that blood? With this.
Take that!
The killer used the bloody cloth I found inside the suitcase to clean up the mess. I see. They had to need to clean up all the blood before the plane landed in Zenfa. Yes, because otherwise the cargo crew would have discovered it during layover.
So you guys are saying that the murder happened before the plane landed in Zenfa?
There is no other conceivable timeline for the events of the murder. But if that's true, then that throws a certain person's testimony into doubt. If the murder occurred before we landed in Zenfa, then this becomes highly suspect. I'm going to say Miss Miles' testimony. Just because I have suspicions, / I technically know the conclusion of this case, but that's okay. Recall Miss Miles' testimony about Agent Hicks in regard to when we departed Zenfa. I saw Mr. Hicks sitting in his seat at 5 a.m., you know. She claims Miss Agent Hicks was alive at the time of the service calls, but...
That's a total contradiction of facts, sir.
But why would she lie about something like that? I think only one person who can answer that is Miss Miles herself. To be continued. Interesting, they have a to be continued point right here. Like, I guess LeBlanc is slightly suspicious, but Cammy's so suspicious she completely wipes out his suspicion on a bell curve. Well, and, like, he's too obviously, like, aggressively mean, comparatively. Although, I guess that's not really a full-on indicator, considering some other villains Phoenix Wright cases have had, so... Wow, this one just keeps going. I honestly, I don't even think this is that long, if you consider the fact that, I did, like, the little bit of it in the first stream, and most of it in the second stream, and I'm gonna end it now and start the third stream soon, or the third case soon, so... I think we're in the finale now. March 12th, 3:35 p.m. Flight G390, lower deck, cargo hold. Miss Mile. Miss Mile. Huh? Do you recall what you said earlier about when you answered someone's service calls as we are departing from Zenfa?
Huh?
You said that Mr. Hicks was sitting in his seat at that time. However, that is simply not possible. Because Mr. Hicks was dead long before we ever touched the down in Zenfar.
Oh.
Miss Chamomile. Chamomile.
Maybe I didn't see what I thought I did.
No one could make a mistake so large, Miss Mile. It's meal, not mile. Miss Meal. The investigation case feel longer because they aren't as broken up as Ace Attorney ones are. They blend together. Yeah, pretty much. Cammy couldn't have done it. She's narcolepsy and also she's cool and I can change her.
But I make that kind of boo-boo all the time.
This is going nowhere. There must be a better way of resolving this contradiction. Very well, Miss Meal. If you would please, tell me about your alibi during the time span from just before we were to land at 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. when the body was found.
Are you telling me I'm a suspect, Mr. Edgeworth?
Miss Meal's alibi.
Oh yeah. From 3 a.m. I was
in a flight attendant's room, all by my lonesome self. Yeah. And from 5 to 6, I was in the flight attendant's room, all by my lone self.
How is a man supposed to react to a testimony like that? CJ, calm down, you're scaring the host. Miss Meal, wake up.
Huh?
She fell asleep again. Looks like the only way I'm going to be able to wake her up is by pressing her.
Miss Meal's alibi.
Oh yeah. From 3 a.m. to 4, I was in the flight attendants by my lonesome.
Hold it!
If I remember correctly, food was being served in the first class and the lounge between the hours of 3 a.m. and 4 p.m. or a.m.
Yeah, but that's kind of stuff run by Miss Rhoda.
Then what were you doing in the attendance room at that time?
Eating and having the most delicious dream.
You mean you were neglecting your duties?
No way. Sleeping's part of the job, too, you know.
From 5 to 6, I was in the flight attendants by my lonesome. So you were alone the entire time, were you?
Yeah, no one else even popped their head in to say hi.
Oh, well, I think the contradiction just popped in to say hi. What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Yes, of course. Miss Meal, there's a clear contradiction embedded in your testimony.
Huh? What are you talking about?
It's not possible that you were alone in the attendance room for the whole time from 5 to 6 a.m. Yeah, because, she went in there, right? Do I have that? Something to use to contradict that, though? Oh yeah, you literally said that. No, wait. What am I doing here? I mean, we're already calling her testimony to be sus, so I guess...
Take that!
Okay, it's not that. Show the real evidence. Did you say something? Finally awake, are we? What do you mean? I've been awake this whole time.
Ah, it's alright if you're sleeping, pal. Pay no mind to scruffy detective behind you and wake up. Yeah! Hurry up and wake up, Miss Meal!
Enough with the clowning around. This is my show and I will resolve the contradiction as I see fit. Okay, well... Obviously this is like the one we're doing it on, but... What is the thing that's showing me why that's not possible? Because, like, I know that, Rhoda went in there. Oh, that just shows that she bought that. Oh, the... That's not helpful in the slightest. I'm not actually sure what I'm supposed to be presenting here. Yeah, like I know is it the suitcase I'm supposed to... Like, I know Rhoda went in there. I'm not entirely certain what I'm supposed to be using here. The suitcase receipt?
Take that!
Okay, apparently it is the suitcase receipt. I wonder if you would be so kind as to take a look at this receipt, Miss Meal. Receipt? For what? Well, yeah, but like I don't know if necessarily the receipt establishes like I think the idea is the receipt shows what time the suitcase was bought, and then obviously Tenario brought the suitcase back to the place, but it's like I don't know if that really proves anything if you think about it. Like it just proves that she bought the suitcase. But I guess from our logic we know the steps after that, so it's as for the suitcase Mr. Tenario brought. But, now if I may be direct your attention to the timestamp, as you can see it clearly says 5:40 a.m. to Stenario. Yes. Why is the killer here? I thought you'd have her locked up by now. I requested that she be present as a witness so that we may straighten out your complex lie. Now then, Mr. Nariel, between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m., you took a trip from first class down to the first floor in the in-flight shop, correct? Yes. I went to the shop to buy a suitcase. After which, I went straight to the attendance room to drop it off. I think it also doesn't help that I didn't know Tenario was actually here. Like, it makes sense that she was. I think I missed her in the wide shot, but... And did you see Miss Smile there, or Meal at the time? There at the time. No. So, Miss Meal, where were you really between the hours of 5 and 6 a.m.? Miss Chamomile. Chamomile. The bathroom? I'll be the one asking the questions here. Maybe that's it. I probably just missed her. Nature calls, you know. Do you take me for a fool? That's a little too convenient to be true. But it's the truth. Cross my heart. I don't have enough conclusive proof to counter-argue her at this stage. You don't believe me, do you? But please, won't you give me a chance to hear me out? Reason for suspicion. Look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm the one of the crew. But you'd think that maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda too. She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard and the shop, you know? If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious. Please, leave Miss Tenario out of the conversation. Only you are under suspicion for now. I don't get it. Why are you covering for Miss Rhoda all of a sudden? Oh, now I get it. Maybe you've got your eye on Miss Rhoda. Of course I'm keeping an eye on her. I can't very well let her escape, can I? Never mind. I forgot that you don't recognize women exist. Okay, well, that's unfair. That's not true. He just doesn't have any sort of attraction in that regard. But you want to know something? Miss Rhoda actually kind of I have absolutely no interest in people who can't appreciate my sense of design. I am both gay and ace. Checkmate. It's called Ace Attorney for a reason. Gace. Gace Attorney. Arrow Attorney. Now's the time for not the time for this sort of talk. Look, I know you're suspecting me because I'm one of the crew.
Hold it!
No, it's not the only reason I'm suspecting you. Your statement regarding Mr. Hicks also turned out to be a bunch of lies. Oh, but I wasn't an attendant. You wouldn't suspect me then, would you? Yes, I suppose that's true enough. But you'd think that maybe you should also suspect Miss Rhoda too.
Hold it!
She's already been detained for further questioning, or have you forgotten? Oh, yeah. I guess I just forgot. Cammy, don't tell me you suspect me too. Sorry, can't help it. I mean, other than you, there's no one else who could have done it. I can't believe that you would think that. I mean, me, a killer. Miss Meal, what did you mean just now by no one else could have done it? She's the one in charge of the elevator keycard and the shop, you know.
Hold it!
And what are you in charge of, Miss Meal? I take care of the attendance room. That doesn't count. But I spend so much time in there. It might as well be my responsibility. Mr. Edgeworth, Cammy is very talented in languages. So she assists passengers who may not speak English, especially those who speak Borginian. She is the only one on this flight who is fluent. Oh, you mean that kind of what am I in charge of? Why didn't you say so in the first place?
What else could I've meant?
Yeah, so I'm really good at Borginian.
She's fluent in Borginian. Then I suppose you're in charge of processing documents in Borginian.
Yeah, take care of anything that has to do with Borginian.
Very interesting.
If you ask me, that makes her super suspicious.
Hold it!
Actually, your on-the-job behavior makes you super suspicious in my eyes.
Huh? But why?
While Miss Tenario is busy with the passengers and all of her other duties, you have a lot of free time on your hands, thus providing you with ample time to commit the crime.
Miles Edgeworth, I demand that you cease this line of conjectural questioning.
I won't allow you to bluff your way through this like a certain defense lawyer. But you honestly believe that Miss Meal does any actual work aboard this flight?
No, that's not true, Mr. Edgeworth. Although, well, I'm in charge of the attendance room and some Borginian stuff.
Hold it!
So what exactly do you do as the one in charge of some Borginian stuff?
I do stuff like translate things from and into Borginian.
Cammy is the only member of the crew who understands Borginian, Mr. Edgeworth. Miss Meal, I take it that your job is to process all the Borginian paperwork.
Yeah, see, I totally pull my weight around here.
So it would appear. Perhaps I should ask her for a few more details about her work, and... Miss Meal, it is very unladylike to push suspicion onto someone else.
That's not what I'm doing at all. I just say that Miss Rhoda is very sus.
There you go, pushing everything onto her again.
I don't get what you're saying. It must be a really abstract concept, huh?
The only thing abstract here is the landscape up inside your head. Francisca, you may hate him, but he could probably have accidentally got her to reveal herself with the plane with a plane gopher or something. Rhoda keeps teleporting. She does. Is it this thing or is it? Okay. I mean, that means she would have been in charge of this, right? So maybe this is what they want me to show? Okay, yeah, it is. I just realized Cammy has anime corpse eyes. Yes, she definitely does. So you're the only one on the flight crew that speaks Borginian. Is that correct? Oh, yeah, I guess so. I studied abroad in Borginia for a while. If that's the case, then the signature on this document belongs to you, doesn't it? This is a falsified piece of documentation with only one purpose. To lead anyone who reads it to believe that LeBlanc's statue was loaded in Europe. The only person who could have either prepared or processed this document in Borginian is you, Miss Meal. Without your participation, the smuggling of the Elif Red could not have occurred. Don't sleep while I'm pointing my finger at you.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of falling asleep on you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Ooh,
got a new animation, guys. It's exactly as you say. Are you confessing to having participated in the smuggling? No, far from it. It's true that I was the one who signed off on that document. But you can't use that fact alone to make your allegations of smuggling stick. There is no direct correlation, after all. All you have is my signature on a piece of paper. Really? All you did was sign it. I neglected to check if the cargo had been loaded onto the plane properly. So sorry about that. Seems she's finally woken up. This is going to be one tough fight. She's the female equivalent of the old fisherman from the first game. That's pretty accurate, to be completely honest. Suppose. And this is just a supposition. Even if I were involved in the smuggling, you can't throw the charge of murder on me like that.
Objection!
If you were involved in the smuggling, you would have had a strong motive to kill. Agent Hicks was in the middle of investigating a smuggling ring. And just when then he was about to close in on he was killed by a member of that ring. Well, did you ever stop to think that maybe Rhoda is the smuggling ring member? After all, unlike me, Rhoda has access to many things on this plane for work purposes. So perhaps there's some element of setup at play in this case? What are you talking about? Props on the double-sided tape Cabby's using. Actually, the tape is doing the props. Don't worry. I wasn't talking about you. I meant the killer. First, it was myself, and now it's Miss Tenario who is under the microscope. Seems to me that our killer is going to great lengths to pin this crime on anyone they can. You have no proof that Rhoda is being set up, or that she isn't. Actually, I believe that she was indeed the intended target from the very beginning. I believe that the plan was to push all the blame for the crime onto her. And this evidence will prove my suspicions. This proves that the killer was out to frame Miss Tenario from the very beginning. I assume using the suitcase.
Take that!
The killer could have hidden the body anywhere, and yet they chose the suitcase. Why is that? Do 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 do. Perhaps it was to move the body up from the lower deck onto the first floor. However, why go through the trouble of doing so? The only way for all these actions to make sense is if the killer had wanted to frame Miss Tenario for the murder. Miss Tenario buys a suitcase on every flight she works without fail. But should her suitcase be switched with one of the containing the victim's body, that would put her in a very tight spot. So she still buys one on every flight. But all the ones in the hold aren't the ones she bought. Fair. That's still a ridiculous amount of suitcases to buy, Rhoda. It's ridiculous. Unfortunately, the killer and the turbulence put an end to that plan. There wasn't enough time to put the body back into the suitcase. Ergo, we made do with whoever was at hand to adapted their plan, and tried to frame me as I lay unconscious on the floor from the turbulence. The killer then went to hide the suitcase in the in-flight shop, and brought the piggy bank from the back to the elevator in order to fabricate a false weapon. A lot of work for a fruitless endeavor, wouldn't you agree? Sounds like the killer had a tough time too, huh? I mean, why did the killer need to frame someone that badly anyway? That's because the special circumstances surrounding this particular case. Special circumstances dictated the need for the killer to frame someone. Where the murder took place, when the murder took place, who the murder victim was. I assume it's when the murder took place. The murder took place before the movie was scheduled to go on. Around that time, almost all the passengers had returned to their seats. Therefore, the killer had to choose someone who was not in their seats in their time frame. Isn't that an explanation for how the killer chose who and not why they had to? Well, I thought it best to start from there. I'm gonna talk about completely unrelated matters. Do you mind if I take a nap? Hold on, I was just getting to the meat of my argument. Okay, fair enough. Where the murder took place, because only so many people can go in here. That's the actual answer. I tried, but I must sleep. Night, everyone. Good night, Sam. Rest up. It's like overstocking the grocery shelves, hoping it will psych people into buying more than they need, only it didn't work since those suitcases are ugly as sin. Yeah. I know. It's because of that. I'm just... yeah. Alright. The special circumstances is simply that the murder took place on the plane mid-flight. No matter which country, customs is quite strict in this day and age. So no matter what you do, the chances that the body will be found is very high. Therefore, there was no choice but to frame either Mr. Nario or myself. In other words, the only one who fits within the boundaries of a criminal's movements is not Mr. Nario or myself, but you, Miss Camille. Only you, and you alone, could be the killer. And? Are you done already? I was about to fall asleep again. Anyway, let's be honest here. You don't have anything on me other than the whole lot of circumstantial evidence.
Oh, we got intense music going.
I can see the outline of how the murder occurred, but I have no definitive evidence. And isn't there a piece of evidence that still is unaccounted for? Something that I still can't quite fit into the big picture. The phone? I think it's the phone. Because we still don't know where it is.
Take that!
Yeah. I don't have any actual evidence. I thought not. But that's because it went missing, and it still is. Missing? What do you mean by that? In the complex... okay. In the complex puzzle that is this case, there was one piece of I kept getting stuck on. And that is the victim's cell phone. Francisca, you were waiting at the airport for a phone call from Agent Hicks's cell phone. Or at least that's what you told me. That's right. But Agent Hicks's cell phone could not be found at the crime scene. You mean the killer took the phone with them? Precisely. I suspect that if we were to find that phone, it would lead us to the killer. Everybody gangsta till the bimbo starts smoking a bubble wand. Ha, ha. Come on, get serious. If the victim fell to his death from that height, wouldn't his phone break as well? We won't know that until we try a little experiment, will we? Francisca, I'd like to ask for your assistance. You know the victim's phone number, do you not? Of course I do. Ring, ring.
Jack's phone. It's ringing from somewhere, sir.
I hear it, detective. Now, where is it coming from? Sounds like the phone is up the flight attendant's room. Better get hurrying to the flight attendant's room. March 12th, 4:12 p.m. Flight G390, first floor, flight attendant's room.
Ring's coming from somewhere in here, sir.
Leave no stone unturned, Detective Gumshoe. We must find it. Doesn't look to be over here. Let's look somewhere else, sir. The ring's coming from here, sir. What? No, it can't be.
It's gotta be the victim's cell. Just whose locker is it, sir?
It's Miss Tenario's.
What?
Yes, it's totally... It was Rhoda the whole time, guys. We were wrong. Obviously.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, how'd it go? Where did you find the phone?
I found it in the flight attendant's room, in Miss Tenario's locker.
What? But... Rhoda Tenario! I don't know anything about the phone. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Miss Von Karma, is it? I suggest you arrest Miss Rhoda Tenario right away.
Wait, I have a theory. This is related to the incident with the keycard. When the killer went to steal the keycard, they conveniently stashed the cell phone in Miss Tenario's locker at the same time. I was jokingly thinking they should make an Ace Attorney musical, but I googled it and it looks like it's been done. Oh, for sure. There's a live action show, a musical, an anime. I think they're doing another season of it. I think they just announced that recently. I think there's been a resurgence since they released all the collections, so I'm hoping that means there's gonna be another game, like a brand new one instead of just the re-releases. But do they have Ace Attorney on Ice? I mean, I don't see why they couldn't do that. It'd be interesting. This is all related to the keycard, alright. In the same way that we have zero proof that the killer did just that. The only voice that sings the truth is evidence. That is the one bird we cannot ignore. What should I do? Francisca's right. I can't offer baseless conjectures at this point. Alright. Then why did the culprit take the cell phone from Agent Hicks? It must have something very incriminating on it.
Hold it!
What now, Miles Edgeworth? It's not over yet. We have yet to figure out why the killer took the phone. What? Inside this phone lies the final piece of incriminating evidence that will point us to the killer. We need to examine this phone in more detail. It's broken. The LCD is broken. Without the screen, you can't even place a call with this. It's got a camera. Ah, the camera lens. Come to think of it, I wonder, how exactly is Agent Hicks planning to preserve the crime scene and of the smuggling? Francisca, I need you to confirm something. This cell phone, can it take pictures?
Mr. Edgeworth, I can't believe you don't know about this kind of basic stuff, sir.
Oh my god, Gumshoe, you are not one to talk. So it's popular with the Fujoshi, which means it's great for the Takarazuka crowd. Stakes attorney, alert. Skates attorney. Stakes attorney is the Castlevania crossover. I mean, we do have one prosecutor that is kind of Castlevania looking, but he's in the Great Attorney game, so we if someone does that, eventually you'll get to see him.
This looks like a very similar model to my own. And mine can take photos just fine. Do you think Agent Hicks could have taken some pictures with this? In particular, pictures as evidence of his smuggling case. If so, I'd say there may be some very inconvenient photos in here for our killer smuggler.
But the phone's all busted up, sir.
Even a super prosecutor can't repair a broken phone.
Yeah, just take the frickin' memory card out and put it in Francisca's phone. It's the same model. We just established that.
May I go back to sleep now? The LCD screens on the inside and outside are broken, that's for sure. But that's also reason enough to believe that the killer wasn't able to erase the data. What? What do you mean by that, Francisca? It looks like our killer isn't very familiar with electronics. The phone still rang when I called it, meaning that only the LCD screen are broken. It's a possibility that the photos are still inside, waiting to be accessed. All we need to do is transfer the data to my phone. Francisca, your phone, if you please. Very well. Very well. It's transferring. Alright, displaying it now. Dun dun dun. This is... Agent Hicks was certainly trying to obtain some evidence of his smuggling case.
Hey, the olive red is nowhere to be placed, sir.
But this has no meaning as a piece of evidence in this murder case, right?
Ow, she's right. There's not much we can find out from this about Agent Hicks's killer, sir.
This is it? This is the end? Is there really nothing in this photo that we can use? Do, do, do. What's this?
Oh, they're a cargo ship from Borginia to Zenfa.
So the reason they aren't here now is that they were dropped off in Zenfa. Mr. LeBlanc, can you tell me the contents of the boxes? Unfortunately, there's no English written on them anywhere.
One cluster of boxes written in Borginian.
It says blah 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 blah. It's just cloth in English.
Cloth. Could it be?
We can check. Good job. I beat up on this part a fair bit. I knew those boxes weren't there before, but I was like trying to remember why that's relevant. But I know the trajectory now. I know what the rest of this is going to be. So,
could it be? Is this where the killer?
What is that scary face for?
Miss Meal. Yes? It appears that Agent Hicks was no ordinary investigator. He left us with a piece of evidence after all. A striking piece that would point out who the killer is. Huh. Maybe you shouldn't force your mistaken reading of a simple picture, Mr. Wedgeworth. The Borginian cargo in this piece of evidence will point us straight to the killer. Where are you? Here we go.
Take that!
And what's that supposed to prove? The killer used this piece of cloth to wipe up the blood that they had spilt. But there was one thing that bothered me this whole time. Where did they get it come from? And now I finally have found my answer in this very photograph. Look at this photograph! The cargo was unloaded in Zenfar, had cloth written on it. In Borginian, that is. And this is where the killer grabbed a piece from to clean up the blood with. That's right. The killer was someone who could read and understand Borginian. And the only crew member that fits that description is you, Miss Camomile.
That's pretty flimsy. The killer probably searched through all the boxes looking for something to use. When you're frantic, you don't care if the box is English or Borginian.
Sorry, but I cannot agree with you on your assessment of the killer's indiscriminate nature.
What?
There's no need for the killer to tear through boxes at random at all. And if the killer supposedly could not comprehend Borginian, well then... Logically, the killer would have opened this box first. The bedsheet box! 'Cause it's in English, bitch.
Hey, it says bed sheets in English right on the box, sir.
Precisely. And the bedsheets would be perfect for cleaning up the blood, wouldn't you say?
Cammy's joke's on you. Who said I could read English? Oh no.
So what are you trying to say?
That if I were a criminal, this box of bedsheets would have been what I would have spotted first. However, the killer chose to use some Borginian cloth. Do you have an explanation for that? The killer didn't want anyone to know that the real scene of the crime was this cargo hold. So they were afraid to leave signs that the box sheets had been opened. However, the Borginian cloth, well, that's a horse of a different color. Because the killer knew that it was going to be unloaded in the Republic of Zenfa. That's right. That's right. That's why the Borginian cloth was used. And the only Borginian reader on board who could make such a calculated decision is you, Camomile. You and you alone. No. It would be very easy for us to confirm if any of the boxes were resealed. All we would have to do is contact the Zenfar authorities in time. We may even find other evidence to incriminate our killer within those boxes. So, what do you say, Miss Meal? Why not confess to your crime here and now? Or would you rather wait and see what we find out from our investigation in Zenfar?
He was Interpol. I couldn't stop it. I brought him here. He started taking pictures. I couldn't be found out. I was scared. I was in trouble. I
find it funny that Edgeworth never goes into this level of depth when he's dealing with Phoenix. It's only when he knows he can't rely on his blue spiky friend that he uses facts and logic. March 12th, 5:26 p.m. Flight G390, first floor lounge.
We finished making all the arrangements to take the suspect in, sir.
Very good, Detective. What about the smuggling route? Did she say anything about that?
They're taking her down to the precinct now. Hopefully we can get more out of her there. Whenever we even approached the topic, she just started foaming at the mouth. It was scary, sir.
She probably wasn't prepared to commit a murder all of a sudden. One thing is for sure. The ring behind this whole mess means serious business. It looks like there's a lot more to this case than meets the eye. Mr. Edgeworth! I just wanted to say how much I appreciate everything you did. Thank you very much. It was nothing. In fact, I should be the one thanking you for your cooperation. But truly, if it wasn't for you, I might not be here right now. Instead, I can continue to serve our passengers as a flight attendant. I hope that, well, please accept this as a token of my appreciation. That's... I see. You don't have to take it if you don't want it. No, I mean, I would never turn down a lady's generous offer.
Well, that's just not true, Edgeworth, but okay.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure it will serve you well. And remember, we are here at Go You Airlines, are always ready to serve, Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind. Now, I must bid you farewell. May all your skies be blue, no matter where you go.
I do like this. The rest of the suitcase can burn in hell. Well, Peg is not a lady.
I can't believe we wound up investigating the whole day, sir, but boy was it fun.
Speak for yourself. My days was filled with earthquakes, elevators, and false charges.
Yeah, that's a lot of triggering things for Edgeworth all at once.
By the way, where's Francisca?
Oh, she's filling out some customs paperwork for her departure.
Departure?
Yeah, Miss Von Karma's always really busy, sir. She's been flying from country to country to chase down some leads regarding our case.
Detective, can you cancel the car that you had reserved earlier?
You got it, sir.
Francisca. I thought I told you when you landed. I have not a time for idle chatter. I have no intention of wasting your time. However, it has been a while since we last met. I also have no time for such familiar reminiscences. Just who do you think I am? You are Francisca von Karma, a very proud prosecutor deserving of much respect. Aw. Only until a little while ago, I was but a wretched mutt who was always losing to you. A dancing period, living her life on the name and fame of her invincible father built. True, your father, Manfred von Karma, didn't lose a single case for 40 years as a prosecutor. However, I wouldn't say that he was invincible. What are you talking about? The group I am on the trail of is a little more troublesome than most. The smuggling route we found this time is only one of the sliver of a bigger picture. Sounds like a dangerous assignment. You really don't have to worry. I can take care of myself. Yes, I suppose you can. Plus, there is another agent on the case with me. Oh? Another agent? He's a star among Interpol agents, and it's the highest successful arrest rate. Who knows? You may even run into him one day. I was simply caught up in this one case. I hardly see why we would cross paths.
We're definitely not going to meet him in this case.
I suppose. But I doubt that he would say the same. I'm not following you. You'll understand soon enough. Flight has only just begun, Miles Edgeworth. I'll be back in this country soon enough. And when I am, you can be sure that I'll pay you back. In full.
And sir, just like that, she's gone, huh, sir? Thank goodness. I can finally rest easy knowing I won't have to watch out for a whip.
Detective Gumshoe, I want to thank you for all your help and cooperation.
It was nothing, sir. I was just happy to be able to work with you again. Ho ho! I think I'm gonna celebrate by adding a little extra salt to my instant noodles tonight.
Gumshoe. Just how much did you cut his salary by, Francisca? Detective, I was wondering if you might give me a ride down to the prosecutor's office.
Sure thing, sir. I'll even fly down the road in a patrol car if you want.
Don't make me remind you, Detective. Safety first. Bless Gumshoe. Yeah. Thus, I solved the first case upon my arrival home. Francisca von Karma, the smuggling route she was after. The leaders of the ring had already put their trump card into play. And the players on the other side of this war, they wouldn't begin to make themselves known through the next incident. They would begin to make themselves known through the next incident. Edgeworth speaking. Finally, I called who knows how many times earlier, but I couldn't get through. And you are?
Have you forgotten my voice, Miles, my boy?
Mr. Amano. Ernest Amano, correct?
So you do remember me. I know it's rather sudden, but I can't ask this of anyone else. There's been an incident, Miles. My son, he's been kidnapped.
Oh. At least I think Ernest Amano, is that the lawyer that worked with Mia? He was also like in the first case with Red Blue or whatever and was being like oh, that's Grossberg. Have I met Ernest Amano? Is this game only? Okay, I don't remember then. He looks like the Pringles cat. Yeah, that's who I was thinking it was, but it is not that one. Okay. I would get beat up if I didn't take a break here, but when I get back, we'll start the next case. So take a big stretch, go get drinks, do whatever. I'm going to do the same. So that's Grossberg lettuce. Grossberg. I see. Should have made you take a break early. I'm actually doing pretty good, but we finished the case. So this is definitely a good point to do it. I'll be back. See you later, Donnie.
Refod demo has broken me. I used so many consumables to do this optional dungeon early and at low level when I should have done the story one first. Yeah, you used consumables? What happened, Chris? Alright, I have returned. As the water, I even had a little honey. My throat has been coated to be better. And I think it's time to start the next case. I don't know how far we're going to get into it, but we'll see what we can do. The kidnap turnabout. Tell me you're going to buy him some might. I'm crazy now. Are you grinding money? Should I be concerned? March 13th, 10:11 a.m. It is time.
Don't worry, Mr. Edgeworth. I'll be following your every movement with my binoculars.
Good to hear. Now make sure you don't lose sight of me. I'm counting on you for backup.
You can count on me, sir.
I have to go. The kidnapper is supposed to contact me soon. Who would have thought that upon my return, I'd be thrust into a kidnapping case? And that I would be the one who would have to make the ransom drop-off. I mean, kind of. Let's see. I checked that money is all there, safe inside the suitcase. He's using the suitcase that Miss Tenario gave him for the drop-off. This is case 3 and we're still before case 1. Yep. Now all I have to do is await further instructions from the kidnapper, which I'm expecting to be transferred to my cell phone. I wonder who else is around. This is the meeting place after all. Oh no, guys. Do you see the bridge? Do you see the sign? No! I don't like it. I'm gonna be traumatized.
Welcome to Waterland.
Oh, thank you.
And a big hello to you. I'm the Proto Badger. Nice to meet you.
Oh no, it's the song! That triggered my fight or flight response.
Excuse me, but were you perhaps thinking of taking a picture with me?
A picture of you? Sorry, but I'm not interested.
Aw, that's too bad. Well, have a good day.
Hello.
Who are you? You're not Ernest Amano.
Sounds like the kidnapper's using some sort of voice alteration device. I'm his representative, Miles Edgeworth.
Are you a cop?
No, I'm a prosecutor. Your heart out, Five Nights at Freddy's. This is true terror. Oh god, if someone did a Friday Nights at Freddy's game, but it was just all the badgers from this case in particular. I know you're wondering, and yes, I have brought the ransom money with me.
I see. In that case, bring me the money with you to the stadium.
So this person intends to see if I'm being followed, huh?
Please, Detective Gumshoe, I really need you to come through for me on this one. This one time.
Oh no, there's a little girl who's dressed up as a blue badger.
Why does he have black eyes? Abyss eyes.
Edgeworth speaking.
Next, come to the haunted house.
And just how long do you intend to have me wander around for?
That's for me to decide. You don't have much of a choice here, my friend.
I suppose not.
Battle of the Magicians, Max Galaxia versus... Is that the one from the case you were just doing? Was that his name? Was it Max? I don't remember anymore. I've blocked out the big top case, so... I've arrived. Yes, okay.
Go inside.
It's okay. This place isn't scary. No, I hate it.
What a dismal place.
That's it. Go through those doors.
Am I being watched from somewhere?
So that's one way, one of the ways you know this is made post-Apollo Justice, because it was Max versus the Trucy's dad. It was. I missed the second name, but I had a feeling that might be the case.
Leave the money and go. Go now.
Yeah.
I was hoping for an exchange, but maybe I should do as they say for now and not push it. I couldn't catch even a glimpse of the kidnapper. Perhaps I should keep an eye on this haunted house until the police backup arrives.
Nope. I hate it. Nope. I hate it. Nope. I hate it. I hate this.
It was a trap.
Of course it was Edgeworth. And Edgeworth died. This is now Gumshoe, Ace Attorney. So we're just going to be spinning our wheels for like the next 20 hours of the game.
That guy betrayed. No, can't be. Then the deal. Who is that? And what are they talking about? Split. Police. Alright. In front of me. Top. I can't move my body. I fear I may faint again.
Gumshoe did get a game, actually. Did he? Is this like a phone game? For flip phones, and it's Moss Media. Interesting. I did not know that. Well, I don't like it here. There's too much trauma in this room. And the last case had elevators, earthquakes, and false charges happening, so that's saying something.
Where am I? How long was I out? It wasn't raining like it is now when I made the drop-off. This was supposed to be a simple affair. So why have I been taken hostage as well? I can only assume Detective Gumshoe lost sight of me at some point. The only reason I agreed to be a drop-off man was because of that phone call. It was from Ernest Amano, the director of a powerful Zaibatsu, the Amano group.
I actually don't know what that means. What's a Zaibatsu? Is it just a company? But aside from that, I also owe him a great debt of gratitude. His only son Lance has been kidnapped. I know that Lance is already in his 20s, but I guess some things you never grow out of. Pretty much. I can't sit around waiting for someone to come and help me. I must escape somehow.
Was that you making that funny sound?
Who's there? How dare you laugh at a gentleman's plight? Who are you? Are you one of the kidnappers?
A kidnapper? Me? No way. I'm not into such petty crimes. Nope. I'm after something much, much bigger.
I must be worn out from today's ordeal. Focus, Miles.
Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. Sorry about that.
Even in the depths of night, when no other bird dares to take flight, one alone soars to shine the light of righteousness on the world's blight. And that one is me, for I am the great thief Yatagarasu. Great thief? Did you really just claim to be the Yatagarasu?
Oh, but my real name's Kay Faraday. You can call me Kay. Kay? Good. Glad that's settled.
Ninja Maya finally appears. It only took the third goddamn case.
I know, right? More conglomerate, but same diff. It was each band holdings. I see. Not quite. I have a mountain of questions for you. But first, if you would be so kind as to remove these ropes.
I wonder, should I remove them? I was actually having a lot of fun watching you make those silly faces. Hey, there's no need to get all mad and icy glary on me, you know. This rope goes here, and there you go.
What a relief. I owe my thanks.
Ah, it's okay. You can pay me back in full later.
Now then, what question should I start with? Unfortunately, I can already tell nothing is going to be easy with this cheeky girl. So I was saying, Ichiban Holdings from the excellent business management sub-game from Yakuza 7, like a dragon, involves making a Zaibatsu effectively. I see. That's not the one you're playing right now. You're playing 8, which is the infinite wealth. Yeah. Great thief. You call yourself a great thief, yet are you really a thief at all?
You doubt me? I get it. You think that all young ladies like me couldn't possibly be such a big-time thief, right?
That's not the part I have a hard time believing.
I'm the real, genuine Yatagarasu, you know? Yep, I'm a pure-blooded great thief. It's a little something I inherited from my predecessor.
In that case, you wouldn't mind if I arrested you then, right?
What? Of course I'd mind. I haven't stolen anything yet. Seriously, I don't know how you can say such a horrible thing to your savior.
That's true. Technically, she hasn't stolen anything in front of me yet. When you say you're the Yatagarasu, do you mean you are the Yatagarasu?
Yep. The most righteous of the righteous. The legendary great thief. But I inherited the title only recently. So, I haven't had a chance to steal anything yet, as is the second Yatagarasu.
I was not aware that thieves could pass down their titles like that.
But don't worry, I've got some big plans in the works.
Big plans, huh? They wouldn't happen to lead to a big arrest, would they?
I knew it. There's just no reasoning with a prosecutor.
I'm not the problem here.
I'll have you know that the Yatagarasu has no interest in stealing petty trinkets. There's one thing, and one thing I want to steal.
Only one thing. And that would be?
And that's going to have to wait until we find our way out of here.
Well, at least there's one thing we agree on. I'm sure I'll have plenty of time later to learn about you.
So, you never told me what your name is, Mr. Prosecutor.
Ah, I guess not. I am Miles Edgeworth.
Ah, now I remember.
How can you remember something I just told you? But she sure is cheery.
All right, then, Mr. Edgeworth, let's get out of here.
It would seem that we are locked in from the other side.
What? No way, I don't hear you. La 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 la.
Kay, do you remember where you came in from, right? It looks like that might be our only way out of this room.
Whoops, slight miscalculation. That's a good height to make an entrance from, but I can't jump that high to make an exit.
I suppose we have no choice but to look around and see if we can find another way out.
Begin investigation.
So, yes, we have our new assistant. This is Kay. She's got a cute design. She's got a key in her hair. She's apparently the Yatagarasu. Hey, look, it's our phone. We should grab that. I went to the Blue Badger photo rally.
You didn't know? Plus, it's not just the Blue Badger. It's his whole family, too. If you manage to snap a shot of every member of the family, you get a really posh prize.
Take a picture of every member in the Badger family, receive a prize. There's only one of each of the 4 family members wandering through the park. Best of luck. They're staring into my soul. Ninja Maya is young. She's not learned restraint of old age. They multiplied. This is the worst timeline. Well, there's a costume head sitting over there. Why not start with a picture of that?
You can't do that. That's cheating. There's only one of each badger in the park, so you have to work for it.
Speaking of badgers, there was one sitting against the wall in the haunted house.
Seriously? Somehow I don't think that one counts, Mr. Edgeworth. You have to take a picture of the costume ones walking around the park.
So those are the rules of this game. How quaint. There's only one of each in the park, even though there's 2 boxes of each. See, all of the costumes are missing here, but except for this one.
Hey, there's something inside the bottom right box. Oh, I think that's the pink badger costume.
Pink badger?
You don't keep up with what's going on in the world, do you? In that case, you better study up on this whole badger clan with this.
I feel like Kay gives big, like, Gen Z vibes before Gen Z was a thing. What is this thing?
Think of it as a Bible of all the things you'll need to know about the clan.
Whatever. I suppose I can keep it as a reference guide or something. The Blue Badger was an ally of justice who keeps the peace. The Bad Badger is a vile criminal with a gun. The Pink Badger, note her unique pink bow. And the Proto Badger, the very first badger. She's ahead of her time in the worst way possible. With a gun.
I suppose this means that this is where they keep all the costumes?
It certainly looks that way. It's like the Badger family home.
There's 8 boxes, but 7 of them are empty, which means there are 7 costumes that are in use right now. But aren't these badges and the mascots of the police force?
Well, I heard that the police had to hand in sponsoring this theme park. Probably because the Gatewater group owes the police from all those cases they solved.
They have all the power of the state, and they use it to make a theme park.
It's not just any theme park. They have handcuff-shaped double looping roller coaster.
That's quite enough. I'm feeling woozy just the thought of such a thing. That also makes me woozy, but I'm very bad with roller coasters in general. I think I've ridden like 3 in my life. And I think the very first one I rode was Space Mountain at Disney World, and which was a mistake because it was in the dark. And then other than that, I rode one of those ones that are just like a big loop that aims you up and then you loop back around. And then there was a normal corkscrew one that I hated that one a lot. So I'm not a roller coaster girl. That's quite enough. I'm feeling woozy just thinking about it. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Give me those keys. What have we here? Ah! Why do I feel like a laser-like stares aimed right at me? Did you want to take a look?
Well, don't mind if I do.
Oh,
I see. Yes, this is definitely a key. I'm sure it's a key to something.
Thanks, Kay. There's something is what is relevant to my interest. Out of curiosity, how old is Kay? So Kay is meant to be 17, apparently. I'll be honest, I would have bought her being younger, like maybe like 15. I suppose it's the pink badger. But since it has the same design, it doesn't seem to be forced to call this one doesn't it seem forced to call this one a female?
You think so? I mean, just look at how long her eyelashes are.
That is a very anime take. That's the only difference.
And the fact that she's pink?
Yes, and
her lips are red. See? Lipstick.
What? She's not said nothing about the giant pink ribbon. Or is that too obvious? Look, clearly that could be a boy. We don't know. This is that blue badger I met in the main gate.
Excuse me, but his name is Proto Badger, not Blue Badger.
He's based off the very first design created by the local police chief.
You know, when you compare the two, the Blue Badger looks a bit cuter.
I suppose as he continued to redesign him, the chief managed to make him look him cuter and cuter. Nah, Ninja Maya comes at the same age as base Maya came at. That makes sense. Is Proto Badger possessed by El Diablo? It's a very good question. Even humanity has come a long way when you think about how much we've evolved.
Are we comparing the Blue Badger to humans now?
So this is the Blue Badger's rifle, the Bad Badger, huh? Do you feel some sort of reverence towards this badger, Kay?
Ha! I can't believe you would be so stereotypical when it comes to thieves. Surely you must also think there are much cooler and much cuter ones out there, right? That's it. I've decided that thieves and thievery needs an image makeover.
Good luck with that one.
Look, it's the Blue Badger.
I suppose even this thing can be popular with women.
My nemesis!
What in the... Why is she beating it up? He's got the word badge right in his name. That's nothing but bad news for someone like me.
Okay, but all of them have badge in their name. They're the Blue Badger. They're all badgers, I guess. Not that I think they look like badgers, but you know.
And to think he's out there wandering around in the park. I'd better be careful or he's gonna arrest me by the power of his name alone.
I somehow doubt that the Blue Badger has the power to arrest anyone. Okay. Is that it? I think that's it. There's paint.
Maybe we can use this paint to help us escape.
And what exactly did you have in mind?
Well, we could paint help in really giant letters.
And who, pray tell, would see these giant letters? We're inside a building.
Okay, then how about we light the paint on fire and send out colored smoke signals?
Sounds like an awful idea, Kay.
Anyone who saw it would think some crazy arsonist was about and call the cops. Actually, that may not be great for me, seeing as I'm a thief and all.
Let's try and find something other than this paint to use, shall we? Maybe this phone that's on the ground? Isn't this my phone? Looks like I made it through the ordeal intact. It's like we could call someone to come save us.
If there was a way for us to contact someone outside.
But we do have a way right here.
There was a cell phone here this whole time?
If I'm right, Detective Gumshoe should have contacted the precinct for backup by now.
Mr. Edgeworth, sir, are you okay? I was so worried, sir.
I'm fine. I was knocked unconscious for a spell by the kidnapper, that's all.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm such a failure. If only I had lost sight of you.
Detective, we don't have time for this. Have the police set up the perimeter right now?
You don't have to worry about that, sir. I already got the boys working on that. But in doing that, I sorta,
What's wrong, Detective?
Side buddy.
What voice would he have?
Sorry, butt in, but I'm afraid you're gonna have to make do with me.
Who's this?
Xinglong Lang of Interpol. A pleasure to speak with you, Mr. Edgeworth. I've heard a great deal about you.
So why exactly is an Interpol agent like yourself involved in a domestic kidnapping case?
Don't sweat the details. Crime's a crime, whether it's a local or a global scale. Besides, you're the one who's in a world of trouble.
And why would you say that? In my head, he sounds Grimjaw-esque. I can totally see that. I can't replicate that, but I do see what you mean.
Langzy says, the pack that runs together stays together. You catch my drift? You caused quite a ruckus by running blindly into the situation and getting caught. You should have contacted the police from the very beginning.
I'm sorry that this happened because of a lapse of judgment. However, I humbly request that you please help me out of here post-haste.
Sorry, no can do.
What?
I'm hunting the kidnapper now and haven't got any hands to spare. As I said, my pack moves as one. You who wanted to go in alone, so good luck to you, Mr. Prosecutor. Oh, and once we do catch the kidnapper, rest assured, they'll come find you eventually.
You. What's wrong? Did you get cut off?
No, my phone ran out of power.
Welp. No way.
It doesn't matter anyway. We should try to get out of here through our own means.
Yeah, I I have a name to live up to, after all. If we put our heads together, we'll be sure to find a way out. What is this? Looks like the blue badger. Or the bad badger. And it looks as bad. And it's looking as bad as ever. Looks like the costume head to me. I guess the bad badger's costume is, at the very least, a two-piece, huh? The real question is, why is only the head sitting out here on the floor? There's a head over here. Maybe his body was mixed with another costume. Man, why did they have to put a window up so high anyway? How is the thief supposed to make her daring escape? I suppose we could make our way out of here if we were able to climb on top of these lockers. Ha! That's pretty clever. You'd make a good thief yet, Mr. Edgeworth. Please don't place my name and the word thief in the same sentence again. Let's see. I wonder if I can jump and grab onto the top of the locker here.
I don't think it's working, Kay.
Man, why do they have to make such ginormous lockers anyway? Even if we wanted to use these lockers, we need some sort of foothold. Do you know where the person who kidnapped me went? Well, after they locked you up in here, it sounded like they went to the next room and started talking to someone. I feel like I've heard something as well, but it's all a haze in my mind. However, I do recall the kidnapper was talking with someone. It was just a guess before, but I guess I really am dealing with two kidnappers here. After that, they left. It's almost seemed as if they were done with you. I suppose that is the case, as my kidnapping seems like an afterthought to the 1 million. Well, if they went to the next room, let's see what we can find out through the slot.
I appreciate we have Ninja Maya because they wanted to have a cute ninja girl do dumb, silly things. Pretty much. Like, Edgeworth doesn't really... I mean, he can sometimes say dumb things, but he doesn't really do dumb, silly things, so he needs to have an assistant that will. So that's why we have, like, Gumshoe and Kay. And, I mean, Rhoda, in a sense, has her own things, but...
Oh, we can peer into the room the kidnappers were in from. There. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Look at that. Is that what I think it is? It looks like the kidnappers had an escape tunnel prepared just in case. That's awesome! They're like a bunch of great thieves themselves! No, they're not, because I highly doubt they made the tunnel themselves. The floor panel was removed and propped up against the beam in a very specific way. I think this building was originally built with a basement or underground area.
Okay, I think that...
There's a door on the opposite side that appears the same as this one, which would mean that I can probably assume that these two rooms are very similar in structure. I believe I may have just found a ticket out. This beam was tied to... What's up? I was wondering if perhaps we could make it over to and out the window if we climbed this. Good thinking. And if it's climbing action you need, just leave it to me. Thanks. This little hook looks like it might make up for the good foothold. Up you go, Kay, and good luck. Count on it. The great thief Yatagarasu spreads her mighty wings and takes to the skies. Here I go! As I thought, this beam was definitely not made for climbing. What do you mean, as I thought?
I'm not your guinea pig, you know. You know, partially it's superficial, but I think in general, Yuffie and Kay have a lot in common. Alright. I know there is a thing under there. Oh, gasp. You mean Kay isn't Ninja Maya, she's Yuffie Maya? This is new tech. Okay, anyway, I assume we gotta logic some things here. This hook on this beam.
You know, I already tried, and there's no way I can jump from this hook up to the window. Come on, even you have to admit something's just not possible.
I wasn't about to suggest that again. Rather, that it's here for a different purpose.
Really? Like what?
As you saw in the adjacent room, it's clearly for keeping the floor panel propped up, which means that there should be a panel in this room if we can open as well.
Oh, I get it.
We didn't notice the existence at the time because it was being hidden by this top.
All right, let's fold this thing up and see what's underneath. Now, this is what I call a treasure. Wow, this must be another entrance to the secret hidden basement. I totally smell a treasure.
The scent I wish to smell is the sweet fragrance of freedom.
Then what are you waiting for? Hurry up and open the hatch.
All right. This thing is locked down tight. We might be able to escape, but the door is locked.
Ah, fiddlesticks.
It's locked? What? If only we had a tiny key of some kind. I believe you're up, Kay.
Huh? Why me?
Kay, why can't you pick locks? What kind of great thief are you? Because we need to use the tiny key that you've taken quite a liking to.
Gotcha. Just leave it to me. I love the tense feeling of these moments when you're about to uncover something big.
Thank God Edgeworth has this special ability to figure out you use the key to lock. She's a baby thief, she told you. Yeah, but you would assume she'd had some kind of training. I believe the feeling of freedom would be much more satisfying right about now.
All right, I got the secret door open, and now...
Wait! Ah! Are you alright, Kay?
I'm fine. The ladder just slipped is all.
Thank goodness she's alright. I about had a coronary.
There's a lot of really large machinery down here.
What about an exit?
It's really dark and cramped down here, so I really doubt there's an exit. I can't believe that happened.
You only have yourself to blame for leaping before you looked, you know. Like, you don't need sleight of hand to be good at rogue. That's fair.
No way. No way! I mean, how was I supposed to know that the ladder was removable?
It's removable? What? That means we can use it to get out of here. I figured out how we will escape this prison, Kay.
Oh? So how are we gonna bust out?
It seems your reckless actions were of use after all.
Are you actually praising me?
More of a thank you for giving me an idea regarding this ladder.
The underground ladder? What about it? This ladder is just for those who wish to go, isn't just for those who wish to go down.
Oh, I see. If we use this.
Yes, I believe it's long enough to reach the top of those lockers.
Well, then what are we waiting for?
Investigation complete.
All right, now we can get out of here.
Yes, we spent entirely too much time here. Kidnappers who held me hostage, and a mysterious Interpol agent. This case is only getting started, and I'll be the one who bring it to a resounding end. March 13th, 12:11 p.m., Wild West area. The 10-Gallon Hat Saloon. It looks like it stopped raining for now.
Yeah, and thank goodness. You have no idea how hard it was raining earlier.
Mr. Edgeworth! I'm so glad to see you managed to escape, sir. I was so stressed that I thought my heart was gonna give out.
Detective Gumshoe, may I ask what in the world that is?
Well, that's,
Oh, God. It's the MIB. The men in black are here.
count off.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 98, 99.
Shifu!
All 99 members are here and accounted for, sir. Oh, God, I forgot how extra they are. What the heck do you think you're doing counting my cubs off like that? Every person's a valuable human being, you get me? And everyone has a name that their parents gave them. No one is a 2 or a 3. Everyone, regardless of age or rank, is number 1. Got it? Shifu! Shifu! You are Agent Lane, I take it.
Infidel! How dare you address our Shifu so rudely? Ugh.
Lang Z says, cub who disrespects others soon feels the disciplinary bite of an elder. I forgot he did all of these kinds of sentences. Those glasses are incredibly done, and yet he pulls them off.
You don't ever forget to show the proper respect towards another person.
Sheena. This isn't much. Please accept my card. Oh, thank you. Please accept mine in return.
You see that just now? That is the proper way of two people showing their respect. Keep that in mind and you'll get far in life. Got it?
Ah, that's right. Francisca did warn me. Something about an elite Interpol agent from the Republic of Zenfar. Apparently this man is the highest successful arrest rate in the organization.
I mean, apparently he has 100 subordinates that go everywhere with him, so...
Agent Lane, why exactly is an Interpol agent involved in this clearly domestic case?
That's none of your business, Mr. Prosecutor.
How is that? Is it not?
I've heard the rumor, too, about you. You solved a murder that occurred during the flight home recently, right? Heh, but you sure took a while to arrest one little flight attendant. How pathetic.
How dare you say that about Mr. Edgeworth?
Are you saying you could have solved it faster, pal?
Comedic relief jumps in to aid his master. How cliche.
Look, what I'm getting at is if I'd been there, no one would have died. I would have solved the entire case, and Agent Hicks would still be with us here today.
Agent Lang knew yesterday's victim, Agent Akabe Hicks.
Hicks was like a brother to me, so now I'm out to take my revenge.
Agent Hicks was investigating a smuggling ring with Francisca and a third person. This must be the man she was talking about. In that case, you should understand how I feel, as the kidnapped is someone I know. So I ask that you please allow me to participate in the investigation.
Not so fast!
That's right, he does the not so fast.
This isn't your neatly trimmed courtroom of Eden, you know. You're out in the wilderness now, Mr. Prosecutor, and way out of your league. No hard feelings. But why don't you go back to your courtroom now, pretty boy? You dare mock the courtroom?
Oh, you struck him where it really hurts.
I do. And I don't need the help of a filthy prosecutor. Sorry, but the truth doesn't need the likes of you to distort it today.
Who uses the adjective filthy to describe a prosecutor?
Well, I'm sure there's a few people, but...
And why? Why do I feel such intense loathing emanating from him?
Again, those glasses are so stupid.
Alright, men. Good job on the perimeter around Gatewater Land. Now, find me the kidnapper and bring the punk to me. Dismissed.
Sir!
Now then, Mr. Prosecutor, you just sit tight here. Don't cause any trouble, understand?
Wait!
Mr. Edgeworth!
It's been a while since the last time I met someone so disagreeable. Why of all places did he show up here? Completely out of the blue at that. I suppose I'll have to ask Detective Gumshoe to fill me in on that. Great job, Detective.
Sir!
For losing sight of me, the kidnapper, and allowing my investigation to be hijacked.
Sir.
I look forward to your next month's salary assessment.
But the case isn't lost yet, sir. I'm gonna show you just how much of a man Dick Gumshoe can be.
Shall I prepare the 21-gun salute now or later? Oops. Detective, are you sure that it was the precinct you called for backup?
Of course, sir. I think I would have known the number to my own precinct like the back of my hand.
Oh yeah? Recite it right now. But...
Then why did an Interpol agent show up instead, with an army of his own agents?
That I have no idea. About 5 minutes after I made the call, that Wolfman showed up out of nowhere, sir.
Agent Lane definitely has an agenda. So the question is, what is he after?
Mr. Edgeworth, I was wondering if I may ask about one thing, sir.
Yes, what is it?
Who is that? The girl over there, I mean.
I'm Mr. Edgeworth's assistant, Kay Faraday.
What?
Funny, I don't recall making you my assistant, Kay.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Edgeworth's assistant. Me! It's been like that since... forever!
Sorry, but I just stole your supporting role.
How can you say something so serious with a giant grin on your face, pal? Mr. Edgeworth, we've got a thief on our hands, sir. She stole my role, sir. I'm taking her in, getting her convicted, and making sure she serves out her sentence.
Oh, come on, it'll be fun. Like musical chairs. You better stay fast on your feet.
No way. I will not lose the spotlight to you, little girl.
Man, I can't
calmly do any stealing at all with all these detectives around. I suppose it's not easy when there's this many members of the law enforcement in the vicinity.
It's alright. It's not like I'm in a hurry to steal just any old thing.
Which is it. Do you plan to steal something or not? Gumshoe instantly understands Ninja Maya, despite being a goober, is still more effective than he is. Yeah. Quite a mystery, this one. Maybe I should talk with her a bit more.
So, what are you gonna do about your investigation into the kidnapping?
Good question. Since Agent Lane holds authority to investigate this case now, this makes things a bit more complicated.
Oh, come on. You can't just let that stop you. I'll even lend you a hand, so let's go.
But you're a self-purported great thief, are you not? Don't believe I can just let someone of the unlawful nature participate in an investigation.
You don't like to listen, do you? I'm not just any old great thief. I'm the Yatagarasu. And as I said earlier, the Yatagarasu is after one and only one thing.
Okay, what is your one and only one thing? What is this one and only one thing you're after?
The Yatagarasu is only interested in one thing. And that is the truth.
Oh, well then you'll get along splendidly with Miles and Phoenix and them. I see. It was 7 years ago. There was a vigilante who threw the business world into a panic. Labeled mysterious and phantom-like, a phantom thief, if you will, the Yatagarasu appeared and vanished at will. Though we still don't know much about this thief's ultimate goal, we do know the targets. The Yatagarasu like to find and publicly disclose evidence of corrupt dealings of all sorts. Once a target was chosen, no dramatic calling card or announcement was set forth. Instead, the chosen corporation was infiltrated without even the target noticing. Some day later, the evidence was found and was sent out to the mass media, along with a card with the mark of the three-legged raven. Looking back, I suppose you could call what the Yatagarasu was stealing the truth. Could this child really be the successor of the original Yatagarasu? But that can't be, can it? Lance! Lance! Where are you, son? Oh, it's him.
Where are you, son?
Mr. Amano.
Oh, Miles, my boy. I'm sorry to involve you in such an affair just after you've returned.
For you, Mr. Amano, I gladly offer my assistance. After all, I have you to thank for how well things turned out during my time abroad. If it wasn't for you, I might not have been introduced to that law office, and had the chance to study the inner workings of another country's judicial system. Yeah, that was Grade Ace Attorney. They wouldn't see it coming, you dumb teenager and your phantom thieves.
No. No, no, no. No, think nothing of it. As you know, Manfred and I go way back. I consider a beloved disciple of his to be like one of my own blood.
Oh, this is how you know he's sus, because he was friends with Manfred.
If you ever want to go overseas again, you only need to ask. I can use my company's vast network to send you anywhere at any time.
So who's the old man?
He's the father of the currently kidnapped Ernest Amano.
Now then, have you found Lance yet, Miles? Please, I miss my poor dear boy dearly.
I'm terribly sorry, but your son's whereabouts remain unknown, Mr. Amano.
Hold on there. Then what happened to all the money?
I believe the 1 million has been stolen, and that the culprits are now on the run.
What?
Poor old man.
Don't you have anything you could give him to cheer him up, Mr. Edgeworth? Forgive me, Mr. Amano. I was wondering if you could please tell me in detail tell me the details of the kidnapping one more time.
Oh, it was yesterday. A call came to the house. From the receiver came the sound of my son. Help me, Daddy!
I know this is tough, but please stay with me here, Mr. Amano.
You don't understand. He hasn't called me Daddy in ages. It was incredibly moving. I wish I'd recorded him saying that.
You definitely should have recorded that conversation. But not for the foolish sentimentalities of an old man. Refresh my memory. What kind of person is Lance again? How will you
telling you about lads help you get him back?
Surprisingly, a lot can be deduced from a person's relationships and behavior.
Very well, then. Lance is my one and only son. He has turned 21 this year. He is very much like me when I was his age, kind and very attractive. I'm sure women simply can't keep their hands off of him.
Is there anything else about him you've noticed of late?
Now that you mention it, I haven't been able to get in contact with our butler, Oliver.
Your butler?
Yes, his name is Oliver Deacon. He's been with our family for years now. He gets along so well with Lance, so I thought maybe he would know where my son is.
Oliver Deacon? Mr. Amano, could you please tell me a little more about your butler, Mr. Deacon?
As a butler, he's outstanding. He's even serves Lance personal private tutor. He took a brief leave recently, but even after it was over, I haven't been able to reach him.
So you still haven't spoken with him since his leave? What about his family and friends?
They said they hadn't seen him. I've tried everything I could think of, Miles. Do you think this could have something to do with Lance's kidnapping?
It's possible, but I can't say anything for sure quite yet. So even the person closest to the victim has gone missing. Oliver Deacon. Sounds like one name I'd better keep in mind. Detective Gumshoe.
Yes, sir.
Let's begin our investigation. Even if that Interpol agent holds the authority to head of this investigation, we can't allow ourselves to stand idly by, twiddling our thumbs.
I'm with you 100%, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. I, Dick Gumshoe, pledge to stick by your side through and thick and thin.
Mr. Amano, it was my fault that the culprit escaped, which is why, with your blessing, I vow to return Lance to you myself.
Ew, I've never seen you so passionate before, Miles. Good luck to you, my boy.
All right, well, what are you waiting for? Let's do some investigating.
If you think I'm losing to you, pal, forget it.
I'm sure women can't keep their hands off your money he has access to. If you could only investigate crime scenes you've been legally assigned to, Wright would lose every case he's worked. That's pretty much true. The Wild Wild West area.
So, what should we examine first?
Thanks to Ancient Lane, we can't leave this area. But the culprit were here until only recently, which means we may be able to find some clues that will tell us how they escaped.
Okay, let's get looking.
Hey, you there.
Who, me? What are you doing goofing off in a place like this? I wasn't goofing off. I was about to help Mr. Edgeworth kick off his investigation. You imbecile.
All precinct detectives are now under Agent Lane's direct command.
No way! I am not working for Wolf Boy.
Mr. Edgeworth, can't you do something?
I'm not exactly in a position to argue, seeing as how you are a member of the police.
Good, now let's go.
Sorry, Gumshoe.
No! Boy, if I got just a job for someone of your talents.
But Kay is the assistant for this case. You will have to go do stuff off screen.
Well, that was exciting. Okay. What? Can't you tell I'm all ready to get down to do some detective work?
You should go home. Your parents must be very worried about you.
Oh, come on. I finally get to be your assistant and you try to ditch me?
I don't recall offering you the position.
Why do you have to be so difficult? Besides, it's already too late, you know. Like I said, I've already stolen the position of assistant for a while back.
You're the only one asserting that.
Well, by the time anyone notices, it's already gone. That's the Yatakarasu way.
You shouldn't speak so lightly of things you know nothing about.
Fine, whatever, you win. Go ahead and do your little investigation. But the talented Assistant K is going to tag along, no matter what you say.
Even if she turns out to be useless, she's not going to listen to me. I might as well surrender and let her come along for the ride. Okay. I think that's where I'm going to have to call it. I can feel I'm starting to get a bit scratchy in the throat again. But we got the intro of the case. We've met a lot of key players. We've met our new rival and our new assistant and our client. So it's been a good time. But thanks for joining me, everyone. And